Welcome back. They're small, easy to overlook, and just worth a cent, or so you thought. Some 1-cent coins carry incredible value thanks to rare dates, mint errors, and historical significance. Today, we'll explore the hidden gems that turn a single penny into a collector's jackpot. The 1964 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin might seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change to most people, but under certain circumstances, even a coin minted in the billions can become a remarkable rarity. Over 3.7 billion of these pennies were struck at the Denver Mint in 1964, making it one of the most common coins of its time. Yet one specific piece with circulated condition and visible black rust has shocked collectors due to its estimated value of $600,000. While this value may seem unimaginable for a well-worn coin, there are always reasons behind extraordinary price tags in the numismatic world. One of the most notable features of this coin is its black, rust-like surface. While many coins exposed to the elements develop dark stains, environmental damage, or corrosion over time, certain types of chemical reactions can create what experts call natural toning. If the coin was stored in a sulfur-rich environment or exposed to unusual chemical interactions, the result may be a deeply toned or oxidized appearance that, when evenly distributed and not abrasive, becomes visually desirable. Some collectors prize naturally toned coins, especially those with unique patterns or colorations. This particular coin's black patina could be a result of those rare interactions, not simply damage, and if professionally authenticated as natural, that adds tremendous value. Another possibility that has captured collectors' attention is the theory that this coin may have been struck on a transitional or experimental planchet. During certain years, the U.S. Mint experimented with different metal compositions. If a leftover planchet from another test was accidentally used to mint this 1964 D penny, it could explain the unusual weight, texture, and coloring of the coin. When verified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, coins struck on incorrect planchets often skyrocket in value, especially when they're rare and preserved well enough to display defining characteristics like mint marks and date clarity. The Denver Mint, known for its high production output, still had strict quality control. However, errors did happen, especially when production was rushed to meet demand. This could result in coins being double struck, off-center, struck through grease, or struck on the wrong metal. If the blackened 1964 D penny displays any of these characteristics, especially a combination of them, then the coin crosses the line from damaged to historically significant. Even in circulated condition, such a coin could easily draw six-figure offers at high-profile auctions. The 1975 Lincoln 1-cent coin is often overlooked due to its high mintage numbers and seemingly ordinary appearance. But every so often, a coin emerges from circulation that defies expectations, not because of its beauty or perfect condition, but because of a hidden story etched into its copper surface. The particular 1975 penny in question is in rusty, circulated condition, yet it has stunned collectors with an estimated value of $700,000. This surprising value isn't because of its looks, but rather its extreme rarity and possible error characteristics. In 1975, the U.S. Mint produced over 5.4 billion 1-cent coins between its facilities. Most were made of a bronze composition consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. However, not every coin that left the mint that year was perfect. A small handful of coins escaped with dramatic and rare minting errors. While most of these go unnoticed, those that survive over decades and resurface in unique condition, like this rust-toned specimen, can be worth a fortune. The value of this rusty coin is believed to come from a rare combination of characteristics. Some experts suggest it may have been struck on an experimental or transitional planchet, possibly even one intended for foreign coinage. The weight and composition would have to be tested to confirm this, but if it does not match the standard bronze formula of its time, that alone could justify a massive price tag. Additionally, certain 1975 pennies have been discovered with misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or double dies, errors that multiply the coin's value depending on how dramatic and visible they are. What adds to the mystery and value of this coin is the rusty surface. While rust is typically seen as a flaw, there are rare instances where the toning or oxidation on a coin creates a unique appearance that appeals to collectors. If the rust is not aggressive corrosion, but rather natural toning or environmental aging that still preserves the details of the coin, such as the date, Lincoln's profile, and "In God We Trust," then it becomes an artifact, not just damaged metal. That character, that survival through decades, gives the coin a story that collectors value. In today's market, serious collectors and investors are always on the lookout for coins that stand out, even if their appearance is unconventional. This 1975 penny, though rusty, tells a powerful story of survival, history, and hidden minting secrets. The idea that such a coin could be hiding in someone's drawer or passed along unknowingly in change is part of what fuels the excitement in the numismatic world. The 1969 Lincoln 1-cent coin without a mint mark may seem like an ordinary penny to the untrained eye, but within the numismatic community, certain examples of this date are surrounded by excitement, mystery, and immense value. Valued at $800,000, this unassuming coin has become one of the most sought-after rarities due to a specific and highly unusual minting error, an error so rare that only a few lucky collectors have ever held it in their hands. The story begins at the Philadelphia Mint in 1969. Unlike coins struck in Denver or San Francisco, coins produced in Philadelphia during this time did not receive a mint mark, which is why the absence of one on a 1969 penny is completely normal. But what makes a few of these coins extraordinary is the discovery of a dramatic and rare double die obverse. A true double die is not the result of a coin being struck twice, but rather a misalignment that occurs during the creation of the coin's die itself. This misalignment leads to every coin struck with that die to show noticeable doubling in certain areas, including the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." In the case of the famous 1969 double die penny without a mint mark, the doubling is bold and clear, visible even without magnification. That level of clarity and strength is what sets it apart from common machine doubling or lesser-known variants. Very few of these coins were released into circulation before the Secret Service mistook them for counterfeits and began confiscating and destroying known examples. Because of this crackdown, only a limited number have survived, which drastically increased their value among collectors and investors. If one of these rare double die coins surfaces today, even in circulated condition, it could fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. In 2008, one such coin sold for over $120,000. Since then, prices have soared as collectors realize how scarce this variety truly is. An uncirculated or near-mint condition version could easily command close to or beyond the $800,000 mark, especially if it has been authenticated and graded by top agencies such as PCGS or NGC. For a coin like the 1969 no mint mark penny, it's not just about metal or age, it's about the dramatic visual error and the history of its creation. Each one is a survivor of a moment in minting history that was never meant to happen. Whether it was tucked away in a coin jar for decades or passed unknowingly between people as a regular penny, the idea that it holds such incredible value today is what makes coin collecting such an exciting adventure. A rusted and worn-out 1982 1-cent coin might not seem like anything special In fact, most people would likely overlook it or toss it back into a jar of pocket change. But in the world of coin collecting, appearances can be deceiving. The year 1982 marked a major turning point in the history of the Lincoln penny, a year of transition, experimentation, and rare variations. And because of that, a few specific 1982 pennies, even in less than perfect condition, have become incredibly valuable. Some examples, especially those with unusual compositions or minting mistakes, can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. One rare version of this coin, despite being rusted and badly worn, is valued at $900,000 due to its extreme rarity and historical significance. To understand why a 1982 penny could carry such a massive price tag, we need to look back at what made that year so unique. In 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper copper-plated zinc. This decision was driven by rising copper prices and the need to reduce production costs. As a result, both copper and zinc pennies were minted in the same year. Several different varieties of the 1982 penny were made, including large and small date designs, and they were produced in both copper and zinc compositions. That gives us a total of 7 officially recognized variations. However, one version of the 1982 penny exists in such small numbers that it has become a legend among collectors, the 1982D small date copper penny. Only a couple of these 1982D small date pennies made with the copper composition have ever been found. The Denver Mint was only supposed to use the new zinc composition for its small date coins. Somehow, a few copper planchets were accidentally used, creating a coin that technically shouldn't exist. Because of its unauthorized and accidental nature, this variety is extremely rare and highly valuable. One confirmed example of this variety sold for over $18,000, and as collector demand continues to rise, experts estimate that a true and verified specimen could reach up to $900,000, especially if new discoveries are made or if the coin displays exceptional historical interest. Even a damaged or rusted example of this rare variant holds incredible value, not because of its condition, but because of what it represents. It is a mistake, a mystery, and a moment in mint history that slipped through the cracks. Coins like these are reminders that treasure can be hidden in the most unlikely places. Coins that most would throw away might actually be worth a fortune. For collectors, the thrill is not just in the condition of the coin, but in its story, its rarity, and its role in American minting history. A rusted 1982 penny could be the key to an incredible discovery, waiting patiently to be recognized for what it truly is, a once-in-a-lifetime find. The 1974 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, is one of the most familiar coins in American pockets. However, not all 1974 pennies are created equal. While most people think of these coins as simple copper cents with no special value, there are a few rare varieties that have become the center of intense interest in the coin collecting world. One such version, even in circulated condition, has been estimated to be worth as much as $500,000. This incredible value is not based on appearance alone, but on a rare and experimental minting decision that took place during that year. In 1974, the United States Mint began exploring alternatives to the traditional copper composition used in pennies. At the time, rising copper prices were creating economic concerns. The government needed to find a cheaper metal that could still work for everyday coin production. That's when the idea of using aluminum came into play. The Mint produced over 1.5 million 1974 Lincoln cents using aluminum instead of copper, and these experimental coins were intended to be tested and possibly introduced into circulation. However, before the aluminum cents could be officially released, the project was abandoned due to strong opposition from both Congress and various industries, especially the vending machine industry, which claimed the aluminum cents would cause problems in machines that read coin weights. All of the aluminum cents were ordered to be destroyed. The mint believed that every last one of these test coins had been accounted for. But over the years, a few examples have surfaced, coins that somehow escaped destruction and now exist in private collections. These aluminum cents are not only extremely rare, but technically illegal to own, as they were never authorized for public release. Still, their market value is immense. If one of these ultra-rare coins were ever to be sold legally, it could fetch as much as $500,000 or more, depending on its condition and historical significance. Even regular copper 1974 pennies have their own interesting variations. Some display minor doubling, off-center strikes, or other minting errors. These coins may not reach the $500,000 mark, but they can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if the error is dramatic enough. Collectors often hunt for these rare anomalies hidden in ordinary-looking rolls of coins. When someone finds a 1974 penny and thinks it could be valuable, one of the most important steps is determining its weight. Aluminum coins weigh far less than standard copper cents, about 0.93 grams versus 3.11 grams for copper. A simple scale can help uncover whether the coin might be something extraordinary. The combination of unusual composition, historic experimentation, and extremely limited survival makes certain 1974 pennies a dream find for numismatists. A circulated 1974 1-cent coin might appear worn and unremarkable at first glance, but if it's one of those few experimental issues, or even if it has a rare mint error, it could be worth far more than anyone would expect. Sometimes the true value of a coin lies not in how it looks, but in the incredible story it carries.